Hi, my name is Brittany Brown. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I'd like to speak with you for a moment about good communication. I believe that great communication within a marriage is the key element for success. Now, as some of you know, Patrick and I are coming up on our 4-year wedding anniversary soon. And as every couple has, we've had our arguments regarding the finances. We've had giant arguments that have gotten so big that we just can't possibly see where the other person is coming from. And then we've had our fair share of pillow talk and just the minor leagues communication. Now, what we're going to be talking about over the next couple of minutes is how honest and open communication is important in these 3 topics: finances, emotions, and day-to-day communication. Now, as you can see on the PowerPoint, since 2000, the United States Census Bureau has stated that the high 40s, about 47% to 50% of all marriages end in divorce. Now, that means statistically, 1 of the 2 marriages in this room today will end in divorce. Those are staggering statistics. How can we combat against that and come out on top? Now, according to Martin Goldberg, MD, he is a psychiatrist who did a survey of over 400 psychiatrists back in the 80s. And he said that they all agree that poor communication is the reason that most marriages fail. Now, this shows how imperative it is that we are speaking with our spouse, telling them how we feel, sharing our beliefs and our feelings with them. Now, the first topic, finances. I know that every couple does this differently, and while you may not be the person who is sending off the checks every month, it is extremely important that you are speaking with your spouse about the finances. Once every couple of weeks, you should sit down, go over the budget, go over your financial goals, the bills, savings, ties, so you guys are on the same grounds. Now, this just promotes trust within the marriage. This promotes that you are reliable and you're dependable as far as paying the bills. It shows that you're a teamwork and you care about what your spouse has to say. Now, the trust over the finances will definitely trickle into trust in other aspects of your marriage. Emotions. Now, we have all had an argument that is so large that we just can't possibly see how it happened or where to go from here. Now, the great communicating relationships know that communication is a process, and when you have a large argument, it is best to put your marriage first. Marriage-centered communication, as far as putting your spouse's feelings before your own, will help you get through an argument and will help you come out on top. It's extremely important to remember that. I like this saying, do you want to be right or do you want to be happily married? It's always really important that we are putting our spouse and feelings first. Now, I just want to make a side note that we are one, that God put us together and we got married to our soulmate. It's extremely important that we are being honest and open with our spouse, being vulnerable. There's a great tendency to call family, call friends. It's important to keep it in-house and speak with your spouse about the problems with your marriage. Now, according to Ed Young, author of 10 Commandments of Marriage, he says that the silent treatment should never be used as a weapon. Now, I know it's incredibly easy to say something mean, run out the door, and stop talking to your spouse for a couple of hours or even days. But he says that this should never be a weapon that we use against our spouse. While we think we're just hurting them, we're actually really hurting ourselves and our marriage as well. Everybody needs time to cool off. Make sure to come back after you've collected your thoughts and reassess the situation. Come back and discuss it with your spouse. Now, last is the day-to-day communication. Keep in mind that you are always communicating. Whether you're talking or not, even non-verbally, you're always communicating with somebody. Also, keep in mind that our textbook says that the communication is a process, which means that the way that you speak with your boyfriend or girlfriend is not the way that you'll speak with your husband of 10 years and your wife of 20 years. All great marriages that are successful know that communication between you grows with time. Also, it's important to have this day-to-day minor communication just because you get to learn about your spouse. You learn about their likes, their dislikes. You get to hear about work, family, friends. It's important for this small communication just to build camaraderie. It helps you become best friends, helps you to trust them and rely on them. Just a comfortability and a compatibility when you're talking about the small stuff. So while it may not be an earth-shattering life decision, even small communication helps build that firm foundation. Now remember, you're always communicating. Communication is a process. You will continuously have to work over it your entire marriage if you want to be successful and come out on top. You might not always see eye to eye with your spouse, but that's perfectly fine. The key to good communication isn't always necessarily seeing eye to eye, but it's learning the steps and how to communicate with your spouse to come out on top and reach a good compromise, something that everybody is all happy with. And also it's important to listen to your spouse, not just to communicate with them. Remember that they are trying to communicate with you as well. Now in closing, I want to say that the rough times are going to come, the waters will rise, and life will throw us curveballs. And that is perfectly fine, because communication is the central most important thing that will hold our marriages together. To come out on top of the statistics. Great communication is going to help us to come out on top and to make great decisions with each other. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Does anyone have any questions? All right, thank you.